I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my
Roll my
stockings
stockings down,
down.
ba-da-ba-dum,
I
bum,
know
bum.
that
And all
jazz.
that jazz. Start the
Ah.
car, I got a whoopee spot where the gin
Hey,
is cold and the piano's hot. Just a noisy
ouch!
hall where there's an unlimb brawl and all. That's
That
a jazz.
jazz.
Greetings, EastEnders fans, and welcome to another episode of Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast. This week, discussing the episodes broadcast between the 19th to the 22nd of January 2026. How are you this week? Are you well? Good. January continues, doesn't it? The longest month of the year. It feels like January is 3 months long, but we're nearly at the end of it. We're nearly in February. Keep your chins up, people. Hello, Ree. How are you this week?
Hello, chins up.
Ella.
All three.
Yeah,
I'm
all
all right,
seven
thank you.
chins
Are
that I've
you?
got here. Yeah. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very excited, Ree. I'm going away tomorrow. I can't wait. Me
Where are you
and the
going
lap
again?
me and the laptop are off to Cornwall. Have another little
Oh,
writer's
Cornwall.
trip. Yeah, I can't wait.
I've
I
never
can't
been to
wait.
Cornwall, you
Oh, it's
know.
lush down there. You should go. It's really, really
Lush,
nice.
I've heard. I've
Lush.
heard it's
Yeah,
lush.
I'm not going to Wales. I'm going to Cornwall. It's
Yeah,
really,
well, the
really, really
place I
nice.
went to in Wales is apparently
Yes.
like Cornwall. I think that's why
Is
my
it? But
brain
with
did it.
that
I wouldn't know
accent.
because I've never been. I can't really
No.
compare,
I mean, a
but
lot of it is just sort of coastal and there's
yeah.
beaches, and I can't wait to have a scone or a scone. How'd you say it? Scone or scone?
Scone,
Scone.
scone. We had this
Scone.
conversation last year. Did you go Devon
Grass.
last year?
Yes, I did, yeah. Is it jam or cream? Like, what I
Right.
always
Well,
get
I
confused.
do. I do cream first, then
Yeah,
jam because the
yeah,
cream
yeah.
for me is like a butter
Yes,
replacement.
yes,
To me,
yes.
that makes logical
It does,
sense.
yeah. We had this, yeah. We agreed on this, and one of them does it
Yes.
wrong, and I can't remember which one it is. And I have to be careful where
You
I
have
am,
to
so I don't
remind
get,
us.
yeah, so I don't get lynched in the street. But yeah, looking forward to that. Got a long train journey ahead of me tomorrow, which I love. I love a long train
How
journey.
long? I
Like
used to like a train
it's
journey.
like 9 hours long, my train journey,
Oh
ultimately,
God, not that long. I mean, I
with all
like
the
a
stops on,
4 hour one.
with all the stops and everything. But I think the last leg of my journey I'm on a bus for, because like apparently
Oh,
a little
didn't go
bit of the
that far.
line's flooded or something. I don't
Ah,
know.
fair
So,
enough.
but it'll be
Well,
fine.
hang on. The a train journey is only really fun if you go in first class as well.
Which I am, by the
Lined
way.
that one up for you, didn't
Oh,
I?
thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the app that is Seat Frog. Have you heard of this? Had you heard of this before I told you
No,
about
not
this?
heard of it until you
Oh, it's
mentioned
the
it
best thing
recently.
ever. So you go on Seatfrog, and
Mm,
if you've when you've already bought your train ticket, and then you go on Seatfrog, and it will give you ridiculously cheap first class upgrades on certain trains. And I found the
brilliant.
train I was on, and so the big part of my journey, the big leg, I'm going to be 3.5 hours in first class, soz, for like
Soz.
30 quid. I was like, yes, please. And
Oh, lovely.
they'll give me lots of complimentary cups of tea, which they say complimentary, but you've paid for a lot of tea in the extra price you pay for the first class, I would argue. So it's all
Yeah,
status.
agreed, but also, it's nice, isn't
It's
it?
comfy a seat. Yeah, yeah. So I'm
Oh,
very
well.
excited. But don't worry, it won't affect the podcast next week. I'll be back by
No.
then. So
Yes, you
I
will.
will return next week
Are
with
you doing
Tales of
it?
Corn. Go on.
Are you going for a little writer's retreat anyway? Is
Yeah,
that what you're going for? Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
so. Of
Yeah.
course.
Get this bloody book
Perfect.
finished. I've been tapping away at it for ages. It's a long
Yeah,
book.
I need to read the rest of it as
Yes, you
well.
do. It's a big book.
Oh, send it me as soon as you're done,
I
please, because
will.
it's
I will.
actually a very, very good book.
Oh,
And I have
thanks.
been thinking about where it's headed because I just can't figure it out. So, yeah.
Thank
When it
you.
comes out,
Thank
you're
you.
all in for a treat. Sorry, I was an
Oh,
exclusive.
yes. So on to this week's EastEnders.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're here for.
Dear, yeah, you know that little podcast that we do. My head's a mess with what to do with Jasmine at the moment. Like, I don't think we're supposed to like her anymore. I really don't.
Apparently, people haven't been liking her anyway, Rob.
Apparently
I don't know what
not.
you're on about.
No, apparently people never liked her. But I just now I'm
Yeah.
thinking that she's going to die, and
Yeah, she's
I'm
got to be
thinking,
because everyone
yeah,
hates her. She's
yeah,
made so many enemies. She's got to
yeah,
die, surely. That's
and Max has been
yeah.
arrested for soliciting a murder on New Year's Day 2027. So is it Jasmine? Yes. Is it
Oh,
that? Is that what's occurring?
interesting. Do you think
Yes.
she'll be here that long? I weren't thinking that she'll be here till next year, but if she is, yeah. If she is, it's definitely going to be that, right?
Who knows? We shall have to wait and see.
Oh,
Also, this week, the arrival of Man. the mysterious man
Oh
that
yes,
2026. We
that
have
big mystery.
a big mystery. We have discovered his identity officially this week.
Yes.
That does look to be interesting moving forward. So we have lots to discuss in this week's Albert Square After Dark. Right, let's kick off this week with talking about Nicola and George, and then talk about Sam and Phil as well, because I feel like it was all
Yes.
just sort of all involved within the same story, really, wasn't it?
Mingled. Yeah.
Yes. So Honey is attempting to matchmake with George and Nicola this week, which is a bit of a
Sure.
bit of a juxtaposition to what Billy is doing, which is basically telling George,
Yes.
run away and never look back.
Oh yeah, that's totally true. I've not even considered
Uh,
that. Yeah. They're both competing against each other in a way, aren't they?
They are. I did Connie's lie about Will getting attacked by a dog. I didn't. I quite like that. I did, especially when Nicola turned around and was like, "Yeah, that sounds plausible. Well done, honey. Yeah, genius. Absolute genius."
I I actually, I mean, some of it with Honey is a bit like, oh, but it works for Honey, I think.
She could
Like,
get away
the
with
fact
it.
that they all, yeah, she can get away with it, and the fact that they all knew that she was lying anyway. If anyone
Yeah,
had actually believed it, even though Billy did out of everyone for some
of course
reason.
he did.
It's
Of course
Billy,
he
in
did.
it?
It's Billy. It's Billy. So yeah, she drags Nicola to Container Junction, where she's supposed to be meeting Billy, and then makes up this lie about the dog, and then leaves George and Nicola alone. Now the problem is,
Yeah.
Billy has already been saying to George about Teddy's warning about her, and
Yes.
so he, as Nicola is attempting to get closer to him, George is attempting to sort of back off a little bit. We
Mm.
know by New Year's Day 2027 that ain't what like George has stopped backing away,
Yeah,
don't we?
that's
So
true. Yeah,
how
so
do
it's
you
all going to
think?
work out,
Yeah, but
maybe.
like, what stops George worrying is my question.
I don't know. Maybe they're going to be bonded together over the birth. Like, I mean, they're going to have a
Mm,
kid together either way, no matter what happens along the way with the pregnancy.
yeah,
They're
you've
going to
still
have a
got that.
bond
You've
because of
still got,
it.
yeah, even if,
Yeah,
the pregnancy doesn't happen in the end, like,
yeah,
you've still got that
yeah,
bond, like, we were going to have a kid together, and
mm,
that's a powerful thing, isn't it?
yeah. And having said that, though, they're sat together in the Queen in the Vic, but there's nothing to say that they are together. If you know what I mean,
No,
it's not
they
like
could
he's got
just
his
be
arm
good
around her. They're just sat
friends.
next to each other. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true, but it does.
Even still, yeah, it
I
implies that
don't.
he trusts her, doesn't it?
It does, and I don't think that Nicola is the sort of person that you would be in a relationship with and then be friends with afterwards.
Yeah, then have an amicable friendship
Yeah, I
afterwards.
don't
Yeah,
think that's
probably
possible.
not.
I don't think that's
No.
possible with Nicola. So I'm going to say I'm adamant that they're together on New Year's Day
Adamant.
2027. Adamant. I'm going to
Adamant.
say it.
Bold
I am.
here, Rob.
Yeah, bold. Early doors. But I'm going to say the A word about that quite quickly. I think. I just don't think that anybody, because Nicola
Mm.
would do something to screw it up monumentally, something psychotic, and George would be like, "I'm never going. I'm not going within a 6 mile radius of you ever again," wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it could be. I mean, I'm wondering like the Harry and Kerja thing. Will he trust her because of all that? Like,
Mm,
she even told him what she'd done to Ravi, and he didn't seem bothered, did he?
I
There's
wasn't that
been
bothered.
no like,
Wasn't that
he's
fussed? No.
he's not said a thing to her really, has he, since it happened? Like, oh yeah, you drugged him, and it looks like he attacked his son. It's like,
So
oh
is
well, he
yeah. So
deserved it. I don't know.
is this going to involve kind of quite bad judgment from George moving forwards then?
I don't know though, because like also they're cute together, aren't they?
See,
Do you know what I
you
mean?
quite ship them, don't you? You quite
I
like them
do ship
together.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
not?
I don't mind them together. I think they work. I like what George brings out in Nicola.
That's what
Um,
I like. I was just about to
yeah.
say that he softens her a lot. I feel.
Well, we say softened. She does witness Sam and George like having a moment
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
Sam and
Do you think it
George.
was a moment?
Well, I don't know. What do you think? I can't see it myself. I think George was just being nice, wasn't he?
I think he was just being nice, but
Yeah,
it's just to throw a little, grenade in
yeah.
for him and Nicola. I don't know. Is Nicola going to do something because of it now? Because we did have that little look, didn't we? When
Mm.
obviously so basically George is trying to get Walford East, needs that 10 grand,
I can see
and
George and Wolford
Nicola.
East, by the way. I think
Yeah,
that
so
makes
can I.
sense. Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Gina can go there and work with him. So because we
yeah,
don't, all we see of them two at the minute is him drinking at Harry's barn and her serving at the minute,
yeah,
even though he
yeah,
works there.
yeah.
Um,
I
so
would
then
not, by the
Nicola
way, be
offers,
drinking in
yeah,
that bar after I know that she was spiking somebody with hallucinogenic drugs. I wouldn't do
yeah,
that.
but if anything, you're safe, aren't you? Because it's not like you've wronged her.
I
I
don't
know what you're
know.
saying.
I don't know.
Yeah. The
I'd be,
remnants in the
I'd be
cup or
choosing
something.
different drinking establishments, I think, just out of safety.
This is what I mean. He's not kicked up a fuss about that. It's pretty bad what she did. I know what Ravi did was bad, but for him
Mm,
to not just be like, Nicola, come on, let bygones be bygones. Like, we went to the police, which is what George did. He's proven already that he likes to do things the proper way and the
yeah,
official way, which is go to the
except if you're
police.
sleeping with me, in which case all is forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It is a little bit like, or is he just accepted that, oh, right, that's part of Nicola, that's who she is. She just spikes people with hallucinogenics
yes,
and yeah,
yeah.
they beat their
Well,
own kid up.
I mean, like I say, so Georgie is 10 grand short of the asking price for
Mhm.
Walford East. So
Yeah.
Nicola offers to lend it to him, and at first he's sort of like, "I don't need a loan. You're not a bank," and offends her. And then he sort of just kind of goes back to her later with his tail between his
Mm.
legs, and she's like, "Actually, can I have that 10 grand, please? Sorry."
Well,
And
because Sam convinced him, didn't she? And
yeah,
said,
which
well, come on.
so is there now going to be a bit of aggro between Sam and Nicola?
I did wonder that, but I don't feel like Sam's going to be here much
I,
longer, if I'm
this is
honest.
the thing. This is the thing. We'll talk about Sam now because it
Yeah.
just feels like, considering what a big story this is for a character to have, it feels
Yeah.
like 75% of it's been off screen, which feels bizarre.
Definitely. I'm going to say it. I think I've already said it again. I think they just got Sam back so
Just for the trio thing.
Zoe and Chrissy could be back on
Yeah,
Christmas Day. And
yeah.
then they thought, right, what reason could we have for Sam being back that makes it
Mm.
tugs on our heartstrings a little bit as well, gives
I
her a bit of
just,
depth.
it's the fact that they did the official diagnosis of it off screen. That's the most
Yeah,
bizarre narrative
yeah.
decision I can think that they could give this story.
It
It's
was. I know what you're
weird.
saying. Given how big of a deal it was as well, like
Yeah,
we've been watching how big of
yeah.
a deal that all was, and then we
And
didn't
this
see
is
it.
like a historically medical thing with Sam as well. It's not just a
Yeah,
random story that they
yeah,
pulled out of a
yeah.
hat to
Because of
give to her. Like
Peggy. Yeah,
historically and medically, this does make sense for her to be going
yeah.
through this,
Hmm.
and it feels like they're giving it like the very bare minimum of attention.
We did see her in hospital this week, Rob. So come
So
on,
yeah,
for
thanks.
the first
Great,
time.
great, yeah.
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
did finally tell Ricky that she had it this week.
Yes.
Well, it was a nice little
Yeah.
scene between Sam and Ricky. I liked that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I liked that.
and there was another nice moment in the hospital with Sam and Jack, where she's like, "Of
Yeah.
all the men that I've ever shagged, I'm glad I had a baby with you." Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
which is
yeah.
tender for
It was
Sam. Yeah,
nice.
fair play.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
While she is off her head on meds, she accidentally
Mhm.
does reveal to basically the room that
Yeah.
Phil was planning on going to Portugal
Yes,
because
with Nigel.
It's Phil's 65th birthday this week. Can you believe that? Phil's 65.
Yeah, that is crazy,
That's
but he
scary, isn't
is.
it? It's
Yeah.
scarier for him, but it's scary for us as well because we've seen him when he was, a
Mm.
big old bulky 30-year-old and everything. Like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
so old, Ree. Like the characters are
Yeah,
getting
but
old.
sorry, credit to Chris Crenshaw for softening him because it does
Mm,
happen in real life at this kind of age. It all kind of makes sense even
yeah,
more.
you'd
Knowing that he's
retire it, I think, wouldn't
65.
you? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, men do. They start softening when they get
Do we?
older.
Do we?
Yeah,
What am
yeah.
I going to
Oh,
be like
can't
by
wait
then?
for it to happen to
I
you.
know. What am
Blooming
I going to be like
heck.
by then? I'm soft already. What am I
You'll
going
be
to be like?
crying at everything. A
I
dog will
will.
come on TV and you're like, oh, it's just such a beautiful dog.
I'm like that already, to be fair.
See? Oh,
In the
God,
past,
there's
I've
no
noticed
hope.
in the past 5 years, I've become a lot more emotional watching TV. I used to be a robot when I used to watch TV. Like
I'm
nothing,
same, to be fair.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
You could feed a baby to a wolf, and I'd be like nothing. But now, I'm
Into
sort of
Anna.
much more emotional. Yeah. So Phil 65, Raymond's arranged a little party for him, which was
Mhm.
sweet. And once Sam has revealed this whole sort of Phil's going away with Nigel thing, George rings Denise, and I did like this as well. Like Denise actually sort of taking him by the horns and being like, "What are you doing? Like, why are
Yeah.
you doing this?
Hmm.
This is insane. What you're planning on doing here? You're not
Yeah.
thinking of Julie. You're barely thinking of Nigel. You're doing this for you, which is what I said 3 weeks ago with Phil with this.
I see. I still think it's a bit of both, but I'm
Mm,
actually now at the point where Phil's convinced himself it's for Nigel.
yeah, yeah,
Because
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do think he genuinely believes Nigel doesn't belong in a care home. I think it really upset Phil going to
Yeah,
that care
and
home.
that one care home, you can totally imagine. Like, and the thing is, though, I don't think there was going to be a care home that was going to make him feel great about it. Or was there?
No.
Yes, they walked into that one, and in both Phil and Nigel's eyes, they walked in. It was just old people everywhere
Mm,
on the very end of their life in their
yeah,
eyes. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And it's sort of like you're too young to be surrounded by these sorts of people. That's not for you, you know. So I get
But
it.
yeah, but he has got what's the official term for it? The
Early
like
onset
young
dementia.
early onset. Yeah, so
Mm,
obviously you go. They're not going to have specific care homes for the younger people who've got dementia. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that's going to happen no matter which one they pick anyway. That was
Yeah.
always going to be somewhat of a reality if he's going to go to a care home setting.
So Janice's words do start to have an impact, I think. And so at the end of the
Yes.
week, there's a quite emotional little scene between Nigel and Phil. I'm not entirely convinced that Nigel knew what he was on about. To be fair, I think he was just agreeing, wasn't he? He was sort of like, "Oh,
Well,
Portugal, yeah, 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 yeah." Just
I
wanted to
mean,
see,
it did feel quite leading from Phil. He's like,
yeah, just a
"Oh,
little
do
bit.
you want good memories or bad memories?"
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I'd like
I,
some
I,
good ones.
I
Should
think
we go on
good.
holiday then and make
Yeah,
some good memories? Yeah, that
yes,
sounds good.
I think that sounds like a better option than not doing that. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
great.
than
Yeah, yeah.
having more bad memories. No, I
I
don't
don't
quite
think
fancy
Phil's.
that.
I don't think Phil's going to do it though. I really do. Well, I certainly didn't. I didn't think Phil was going to do it anyway. But I certainly don't think he's going to do it
Ah,
now. A knock on the door, and in stumbles man.
yes,
Now,
man from 2027.
bless them. There have been a couple of screw ups with this character so far. Number one was the
Yeah,
audio commentary thing, which I don't think actually is anything to do with the show's production team itself. I think that's a completely separate team. And
yeah,
I think
yeah,
they just read from a script maybe or something and do the audio
yeah.
commentary. So that's not their fault. The social team, I don't know if you saw this, screwed up yesterday as well by posting Thursday's Duff Duff instead of Wednesday's Duff Duff on the internet on Wednesday, which
Oh,
was Mark's
ah,
sort of coming in. But
right.
hey, he's here now. Man is Mark Jr. Fowler. He has arrived,
Yes.
battered and bruised, saying hello, Uncle Phil. Um, so, what does this mean? Why is he back? What's occurring? What's going on, Ray? Give us your theories.
I don't know if I've got many theories other than so he's obviously in London because they are freshly,
Where's he
fresh
been?
bruises and fresh blood.
He's-
Well, wasn't he in America? That's what I thought. The
yeah, I
last we
think he might have
know,
been. Yeah.
he found out Grant were his dad and he
Yes.
flew to America. Have we known
Screw
that he's
it.
been
Yeah,
elsewhere
and and
since?
then said a screw that Trump would be better, and then just flew to America.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so now he's back
That was
randomly.
like what, 10 years ago or
Yeah.
something
Oh,
that
it's
he
been. Yeah. I
left?
mean,
Yeah.
this is a recast because the
Mm,
guy who used to play him is currently in Emmerdale playing Joe Tate.
yeah. Yeah.
So they needed to do a recast for the character. Um, it's it makes me wonder immediately whether because we did suspect that Lauren was having an affair New Year's Day
Yeah.
2027. This does appear to be a prime suspect for that because he was
Yes,
sort
I
of
would
hanging
say
around.
so.
But having said that, I also remember that he was kind of not close with Max, but Max was being quite friendly with him, like waving at him from across the square, and he was sort of there in the background when Max was having his moment, as if he was within that group, wasn't he?
Yeah,
So at the
yeah.
same time, and Max did say that I know what you've been up to Lauren, so I don't know whether he would be doing that if he knew that she was
It
having
could
an
be
affair with
that.
Mark.
It could be though. To be fair, Max, it might just be a keep your friends close, enemies closer kind of thing that he's playing with him.
Mm,
Potentially, if he views him as an enemy. Or
possibly.
for all we know, by that stage, he might have had a bit of a falling out with Peter and thought, "Oh, crack on with Mark Junior, Lauren. I approve. I don't
Mm.
care."
Yeah, I mean, he's never liked
Like
Peter in the
father, like
first place.
daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Uh,
So by that point, he might be quite all right with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the other character that this
Mm.
impacts is Vicky, which is great
Yes.
because it's the
Yeah.
trial next week for Joel.
Of
So
course.
that
Yeah.
looks to be a pretty dramatic story next week, and Mark will be back within that sort of
Do you
story. So
reckon
that's
he
going
is
to be
what he is
interesting.
back within that story next
Well,
week
he's
then, Mark?
it would make sense for him to be, wouldn't it?
It
Because
would.
this
I just
is
wondered sometimes they bring them back and then they go again
and
and
then
then they come back properly, like Max, a bit like
yeah,
Max
yeah, yeah,
did.
yeah. I feel like he's well, I don't know, but I feel like he is back now because
Yeah,
why the hell is he here other than that? Like why
yeah.
is he all beaten up and why has he come straight to Phil?
But this is what
So
I mean. He must be in London anyway to be
mm,
that beaten up and then go into Phil's doorstep. He
yeah,
must be somewhat local, unless he's been on the run from something and
yeah,
then they've caught up with him and he were
yeah.
actually running to Phil anyway to be like, I'm in trouble. And then they've caught up with him and found him.
Do you think any of this has any impact on what New Year's Day will be, or do you reckon this is just a little mini entrance story for the character and it'll be done within a couple of weeks?
Well, the only other thing I was wondering when you just mentioned Lauren, we think she's having an affair, but what if
Yeah,
it is that she's actually on drugs and maybe Mark
yeah,
Jr. is
yeah,
part
yeah.
of some drug gang or something
Could
and
be,
actually
could
he's
be.
been giving her drugs or like been dealing
Uh-huh.
to her or something. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I don't feel like we know enough to really
No, I mean we know nothing. At the moment,
speculate much further. Yeah.
all we know at this point is that Mark Jr. has arrived. He's known as Mark Fowler in the credits. We'd have to call him Mark Jr. We can just call him
Oh yeah,
Mark.
of course, because no one else remembers Mark probably
No,
these days,
yeah,
so they don't
exactly.
have a clue. Don't
They
have a
haven't got a
clue.
clue. Young'uns these days. They don't know Mr. Todd Carty at all, do they? So we call him Mark. Mark has arrived. He is battered and bruised. He's arrived at Phil's door, and that's all we know at this stage. So I guess we'll find out what happens next week with that.
Also, by the way, I did not get the impression that Phil wasn't going to go to Portugal after what Denise said. I actually got the
Oh, did you
impression that
not?
he was still going to go. Yeah. And now I think that Mark Jr.'s come through the door.
Mm.
I actually think that that's going to have changed his mind. I think he was still planning on going. He was like convincing himself with that chat with Nigel and Nigel agreeing. So then Phil's like, oh, well, Nigel's agreeing. So that's all that matters. So I don't
I
care
don't
what
know.
Denise has said.
I don't know about that because Phil was getting emotional, which suggests to me that he deep down he knew
True.
what he was doing was wrong. So I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
would agree with that, but I still feel like he'd have done it anyway.
I don't know. I'm not convinced
Do
by
you
that.
know?
If he hadn't been
Well,
crying, if he hadn't been emotional about it, I'd agree with you. But because
oh,
he was getting emotional, which, like you say, we do as we get older as men.
yeah, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
we cry at an advert now. So
I mean, crying at your mate having dementia is probably quite a reasonable thing to cry about,
wouldn't
isn't
have done
it?
it
You
10
know?
years ago, Reed, just
Mind you,
saying.
still Phil Mitchell, though, in fairness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Yeah, he
cried a
might
lot
not
this.
have.
He's cried a
Yeah.
lot this year, hasn't he?
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that the emotion possibly meant that he knew that he was doing the wrong thing, and he was just trying to. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
But I feel like it's irrelevant because, like you say, now Mark's back. I feel like this keeps him
Yeah.
in the country anyway for whatever
Yeah.
is going on. So we
Yeah.
shall have to wait and
Definitely.
see. Right, ladies and gents, let's now move on to the next story. Ravi is racked with guilt this week as to what he has done to Nugget, understandably. Nugget is home this week and not reacting brilliantly to his new normal, essentially, is he?
No, bless him. I mean, it would shake you up, wouldn't
I
it? Can you
think,
imagine?
yeah, I mean, you've just been randomly attacked in the street.
Yeah.
You don't remember who did it.
Yeah.
I
I'd be
think you'd be
terrified.
terrified of going out. I mean, he's even telling Priya
Yeah.
to lock the door as she goes out, so he's not even feeling
Mm.
that safe in his own home, is he? So it's little
Yeah.
wonder that he ends up having a massive old panic attack in the street. And
Bless
there's
him.
nothing more helpful when you're having a panic attack than having your best mate grab you and go, "You're all right, mate. Go on, breathe. You're all right. Yeah, go on, Dental. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right, mate." Really
You're
helpful,
right,
Dental.
mate. Calm
Yeah,
down, will
go
you?
on,
Yeah,
calm
yeah.
down.
That's
Calm
helpful.
down.
What not to do when your
Yeah,
friend's having a
really
panic
helpful.
attack,
Really,
maybe.
really
Bless
helpful,
it. I think
Dent.
you were
Cheers.
panicking, though,
He was,
obviously.
bless him. I mean, I'd do exactly the same if I found you on the ground. I'd just grab your head and just scream in your face just to calm you down. It'd be the only
After you've
way to
just had
do
an
it.
head injury as well.
Absolutely. But bless it. Oh, I thought you handled very well
Yeah.
during that little panic attack scene. I thought that was
I
quite
think he's
good.
had quite a few good scenes actually this week.
I
His
want
little
more.
chats with Ravi have been really
Yeah,
good actually. I've appreciated that.
I'm really
I
fascinated.
like, yeah, go on.
I'm really fascinated by the father-son relationship because if you
Yes.
think about it, in soap, the parent-child relationship is actually the most fascinating to study. You know, Phil
Mm.
and Ben, Nugget and Ravi, even in other soaps, Gail and David. You know what I mean? Like you've got
Yeah,
those
yeah,
fascinating sort of dynamics because being a family member, just makes everything 10 times more intense,
yeah, agreed.
and there's so
It
much more
was
history.
I mean, they started off, didn't they? They were trying to play the video games together. Nugget
Mm,
calls Ravi out and's like, "Why can't you look me in the face? Because you're just
yeah,
so ashamed of me." Which, to be fair, again, given Nugget's position, it's understandable that that's what he's thinking at the minute, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then it's nice. Do you think it's going to change the dynamic that Ravi then actually said to him, "No, I'm glad that you're nothing like me." When they later have a chat, and he's like, "You're worth 10 of me, and you're not even 18." Or do you think
Yeah.
Nugget won't believe him?
I don't know, but I mean, yeah, I think that is a good sort of flag to put in the ground for now. But
Hmm.
it depends how long we're going to be hold. I mean, at some point, Nugget is going to find out what actually happened,
Yeah,
and then what
surely.
happens from there.
Mm.
You know, are we talking
Inter-
revenge? Are we talking like, you know,
I
'cause Bria
think
knows as well, so it's both his
well,
parents
this is
hiding
what I
this
was
from
gonna
him.
say. I think it's gonna be that he finds out that Ravi did it and that Priya knew.
Mm,
Also, let's not forget Nicola knows, Harry knows,
yes,
George
yes,
knows.
basically
So it
everyone
could come
knows.
out from theirs. Yeah, like
We
there's a
know.
lot of
Everybody
people.
knows.
Yeah. Half the country knows.
He's going to be furious with us for not telling him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He's going to
And
go
I'm
and
sort
live
of
with Suki, isn't he, when he finds out? This is what I'm thinking. He's just
possibly,
going to go and
yeah,
move in there, right? Because
possibly,
he's
yeah,
going to find
because
out that Priya knew as
yeah,
well.
because Suki doesn't know, and obviously Suki and Eve don't
Yeah,
know what's going on. So yeah, that would
exactly.
make sense. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on with Suki and Eve's adoption? What do you mean? Well, adoption workshop? What is that?
Right. Well, hang on, because I've got an idea to do. Well, actually, I don't. If anything, I don't know if this proves a theory or disproves a
I can
theory
feel the air going
about.
out of this balloon every second that you're
No, no,
talking.
no.
But go on.
Right. 2027, Jack's got a
Yes,
baby there, and we're
yes,
theorizing, is it
Vinny and
Penny and
Penny's.
Vinny's kid?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then in my head, I'm like, why would Jack have Penny and Vinny's kid and not Suki and Eve, who were openly looking to adopt a child?
Because they might have one by then.
Yeah, but would they still not just like Suki would totally take in her grandchild? And
Yes,
Eve's proven that
yes,
she's up for being like a motherly figure. Like, you
yeah,
know what I
yeah, yeah.
mean?
I can see what you
Would
mean.
they
Yeah.
not then take the kid in? So it's making me now question if it is Penny and Vinny's kid, because I feel like actually they probably would be with Suki, and Suki would
Mm,
stand her ground against Jack and be like, that's my grandkid. They're coming with me, thank you.
that
Unless
is
they're all going to have beef along the way.
well. I mean, I think that's inevitable. To be fair, there's definitely going to
Yeah,
be beef anyway.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, Suki would go to war for something like that,
Hmm.
100%.
That's what I mean. So now I'm
Doesn't
wondering
mean
whether it is their
well, it doesn't
baby
mean
or
that that
not.
war isn't already happening. To be fair,
True, true.
because Jack's the sort of person that something illegal might happen at some point, within the Panesar family.
Hmm.
Maybe the whole thing that's going on with Ravi,
Ravi.
he might have that over the
That's
family.
true.
So that might
Mm,
be how he ends up with looking after a baby. I mean, this is all of the
okay.
assumption that what we think
Yeah.
is happening is going to happen. It might not be that
Yeah.
at all, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would be my
Fair.
guess, possibly.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just made me wonder. Actually, is it Amy's baby then? I just feel like Suki would do everything within her power to
Yeah,
have that baby
100%.
in the
Yeah,
house
yeah.
with her. But yeah, like you said, along the way, other things could
But then,
happen.
who is Amy? Like, it's gonna be sleep because that's gonna happen soon. Then whoever
Depends on.
is getting pregnant, yeah, maybe. But whoever is getting pregnant, it needs to
Mm,
happen very, very soon. Now, it could well
yeah.
be that we won't be told that they're pregnant until quite late into the
Yes.
process.
Yeah.
But it needs to be happening around now
Yeah.
for us to be there on New
Roughly.
Year's Day. Yeah,
About Marchish, I would say.
yeah. We've got like
Right?
maybe a
Yeah.
couple of
Like
months.
yeah, a couple of
But then we
months.
also don't know how old this baby is. We just know it's a
True.
baby. I think that
That is very
about the
true.
age of 2, you're still a baby, aren't you, in terms of
Yeah.
the eyes of parents?
One.
So
But yeah.
1, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
Mm,
interesting. But in terms of this Nugget and Ravi storyline, I'm really
yes.
interested. I want it to develop much further. I want more of it as well. I think because
Yeah.
I was expecting this to be like maybe at the very least the B story of this week, and it didn't feel like it
Yeah.
was as obviously because the Jasmine storyline was quite a prominent storyline throughout the week. So
Yes.
hopefully this will start to sort of rise up the rankings and we can really sort of pay attention to their relationship because it's really interesting.
Yeah. I think on top of the relationship, I think the thing that we're going to see a lot of is how Nugget's going to be suffering psychologically from the
Yeah.
attack. And I think it's going to be a bit of a background, like you say, a bit of a B story. We're going to see these little flashes like he's had the panic attack.
Mm.
He's going to be scared to go out, which again,
It would be,
understandably.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then, of course, then he'll find out, and then everything's just going to go.
Boom. Big Panasar explosion. Bring it
Mm.
on. Right, ladies and gents, before we get on to the big Jasmine story, let's have a brief little chat about Ian and Elaine. Ian and Elaine's rivalry is intensifying ever so slightly. It all starts off 'cause it's Mick's birthday this week, and
Yes.
Ian makes a really stupid comment about cliffs to Linda.
I
Um,
mean, it were innocent enough, though,
can't
weren't
say
it?
out
It is
these
a
days, can you,
common sense.
Ray?
You
Can't say
can't,
out.
can you? You just
Can't say
can't.
out. You're always going to
No
offend
wonder
somebody.
Ian's way he is.
Yeah, exactly. He tries to make up with that with presenting Linda with what I could only describe as half a tree. Like that flower,
Do you
those
know how
flowers
much
was huge.
that would have cost Ian Beale a fortune? I
It
can't
would.
believe that says a lot about how we know Ian is with money. The fact that he went out and bought that massive bouquet.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
huge. I don't think they even sell them
Yeah.
on the flower stall that big, do they?
No, well,
No.
maybe it were a special
Pam
edition
would have
just for
sorted it.
Ian. Yeah,
Pam would have
yeah,
sorted that out quite
yeah. She
cheerfully,
would
wouldn't
have
she?
definitely.
But yeah, so Linda forgives him for his insensitive comment. Elaine, however, does not, and she's just goading him and jibing at him to the point where he rings a return I was not expecting. I think nobody was
No.
expecting this. Councillor Barker, of all people, returned this week.
Yeah.
Who appears to be the Mr. Lister of the council, but a little bit
Yeah.
darker. An absolute
Yes.
sleazeball and a
Yes.
pig. And
Yeah.
this is all to do with the sign that Elaine has erected outside of the hotel boutique, which,
Hmm.
to be fair, is garish as hell. But I don't know whether it is necessarily the eyesore that Ian is making it out to be either.
No, and it's not like it's. Is it a public nuisance? Like, I don't think you can
What is
claim that. To be honest, it's
what
subjective,
what
surely.
is more of a public nuisance is Elaine standing outside and feather dusting it. No one needs to feather duster a sign. That's such a ridiculous thing to do. Nobody.
It's
Just
making
like
everyone
fluttering
look
around
in
with a feather
it.
duster. Nah, feather duster. Ah. Just like going around, just loving a life. Loving life.
Breakfast on theirs. Ah.
Ah. Um, I mean, they've knocked the breakfast thing on the head quite quickly, did you notice? 'Cause
Yeah, they have actually.
yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was going to be a full-on sort of war between the hotel boutique and the
Yeah.
cats, but that's kind of fizzled out, and now it just seems to
Mm.
be Elaine and Ian at loggerheads. Oh, now where are you at with the Elaine?
Uh,
I'm not. I'm just
no, I
asking. I'm
don't
asking.
want
I don't
it.
care if you want it to happen. I'm asking you whether you think it's going to happen
Well,
or
yeah,
not.
it's obviously going to
Do you
happen.
think
It's
it
obviously
is?
where it's all leading to.
Do you
Yeah,
think it is?
definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't. Do you know what it is though? I don't feel like Elaine would ever go for Ian, but obviously that's where it's all heading.
But then, likewise, at the minute.
Nah, I could see Ian quite appreciating
Do
Elaine.
you
In
think?
fairness,
Do you think? I
um,
think she's a little bit at this stage. I think he just sees her as just this really loud nonsense at the minute, and I don't think that he's that enamored with her at all. But you know, this is Ian, and his heart can change on a dime. So maybe.
I don't know. I feel like he can appreciate her character, though. In fairness, I feel like if he looks past the war, whereas I can't imagine Elaine appreciating Ian's character at all.
It, yeah, but it all kind of boils down to that whole sort of playground thing of pulling the pigtails of the girl that you fancy in the playground, doesn't it? And vice versa. You know.
Mm,
But
mm.
anyway, he rings Councillor
Anyway, it's
Barker up, and
happening.
Councillor
Yes.
Barker rocks up to the hotel boutique to say that she needs to take the sign down and she just needs to stop feather dusting people in the street. And very quickly, Elaine does some digging, and Honey sort of spills everything that went on between him and Ruby.
Yes.
All of this, I was amazed all of this got brought up again. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, same. I was not expecting it at
Really wasn't
all.
expecting, of all things, this to
Yeah.
be brought up again. But Elaine then confronts him with what she has discovered about him later on, and Barker then makes a deal with Elaine and says, "Right, okay, you can keep the sign up, and you can also, I will also look the other way at all this planning permission that you didn't do
Yeah.
when you were making this place, in exchange for me basically being able to be a pig and bring any woman I like to this place, and you
Hmm.
keep it to yourself." And Elaine's like,
Lovely.
"Yeah, I'll do that then."
Well, to be fair, at first she's like, I'm not being involved in your affair. And then obviously she quickly changes her
Mm.
mind because otherwise,
Otherwise,
yeah,
she's got
she's
to close
screwed,
down.
isn't she?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
let's be real here. It's a hotel, and guess what? That kind of thing is going to happen every single day, every single week. You're
Yeah.
going to have at least one affair going on in that hotel.
Yeah. And Max is there. So if it's not
Yeah,
Max,
for a
then come
start.
on.
Yeah, if Max isn't doing it, then someone else will
Yeah.
be. So
And he didn't
yeah,
say for free, did he? I think he was like a discounted rate or
discount.
something in your, discretion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which then sort of bleeds over into because Ian has bought Kathy the laundrette. Kathy now apparently owns a
Oh, yeah.
laundrette now.
And the
And, so,
cabs and the
and the
taxis.
cabs, all of
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
mean, she's
All
the
of it.
busiest 70-odd-year-old woman in the world, isn't
She's
she?
not here though, but yeah, she's
No,
a
she's
big
never there.
business.
She never goes, she never attends any of these businesses.
Yeah,
The only one she's
no.
remotely interested in ever is the calf.
Yeah, yeah. Fair.
Everything else she couldn't care less about. I feel like Harvey's going to be more in charge of this, which would suit him, I think.
Yeah.
Leave Yolandi in the laundrette part and just let Harvey run
Yeah.
the taxi bit. I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
It
mind
gives
it.
Harvey
And
something
Kat
to do as well.
Yeah, and Kat needed to go because she's got the Vic now, hasn't she? Even though I did
Yeah.
like Kat in the cabs, but
Yeah, I was never that kind of convinced that it suited her. In all honesty, I thought it was a strange role for her
yeah.
to have. But I
I
did
thought
throw her
it
in the bin.
suited her just because of Charlie, to be fair. It was
True,
more like
true.
she were doing it because of Charlie rather than for
Mm,
herself. But
mm.
yeah.
So what this ends up then bleeding into is this whole thing where Ian has made up a load of posters for himself because is he going
Course.
for the council again? Is that what this was for?
I know, I think he was just trying to annoy Elaine and show, look at all businesses I've got across the square.
Well,
Even though it's not his, is it? The laundrette. Didn't he just lend the money to
he's
Kathy?
yeah. I mean, in Ian's mind, he probably half owns that because he lent the money
Well,
to Kathy.
he did make her sign a contract, didn't he, in pub
Yeah, God
at
knows what's
some
in that
point?
contract.
Yeah, so maybe he does partially earn it.
Yeah, so then that kind of goes into Elaine graffitiing all over these posters, which then turns
Yeah.
into Ian turning the sign into stale old tart, which, in all, if nothing else, he'd be good on Countdown for trying to find him stale old. Mind you,
Yeah, fine.
I think he had to add a couple of letters in, but
Yeah.
fair play. They managed to construct stale old tart out of that sign, so now they are proper at war with one another, and
Yeah.
it just sort of I mean, I am kind of just waiting for them to fall in bed together, but at the same time, I feel like there's going to have to be a lot of Irish cream consumed by Elaine to get
I
there.
was going to say, how is it even going to happen, even though it obviously is going to happen?
Yeah,
Obviously, as well, along the way, Harvey tries to make amends and says, look, this could be beneficial for you both. You can wash all her sheets at a discounted price. She can send customers your way to the cafe. And he's like, yeah, brilliant, nice one. And then we see, actually, no, they don't
yeah,
really mean it, do they?
no,
But yeah, how
no.
are they going to fall into bed
I
with
don't
each
know
other?
because at this
Yeah,
point they really seem to hate
drunkenly.
each other. Which I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Outside of it all, I'm quite enjoying this little feud. I think it's quite funny. I do
I like
like
the
it.
feud.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we are just speculating that they're going to end up getting together. I mean, it does seem very obvious that that's where it's
It
going,
does, but at the
but
same time, like you also think about the reasoning behind it. So I can't think of any reason why they would at this point, because they are
would
just
what?
using
Sorry.
why they would sleep together at this point because they do seem
Yeah,
to absolutely
exactly.
hate each
Yeah,
other, which is
yeah,
amusing to watch. And I would kind of quite like to see that continue for a bit longer because it's not a big storyline; it's just a kind of comedy feud going on in the
yeah. Look,
background, which
yeah,
I
it's a
don't
nice
mind.
little. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't mind that. I'm now wondering, are they both gonna? I know that Elaine and Cindy have kind of made up, but are they gonna somehow bond over Cindy? Maybe.
mm,
And like maybe they'll all be out drinking and they'll both start jibing at Cindy and being like,
yeah.
oh yeah, good one, you know.
How would Cindy feel about Elaine sleeping with Ian?
Do you think she'd care, really?
There's a
I think she'd just be a bit annoyed because of the power that she would feel like she's no longer
yeah.
got over Ian.
Yeah,
I
and the
don't think
fact that
she'd
that power then went
really
to Elaine
care.
of all people.
Yeah, I think that's what she'd be more bothered about. But in the
Because I
grand
got,
scheme of things,
yeah, because I've got to be honest, I do miss the little. I mean, I like that they've managed to sort of coexist together with the odd jibe at each
yes,
other in the Albert. But at the
yeah.
same time, actually, does Elaine even still work at the Albert anymore
No,
now?
I
She
was
got the
just going to
hotel.
say,
Yeah,
surely she's gone now because she's got.
you'd
That should
think.
have been made a bit more clear.
Yeah, I wasn't. I just only just realised that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do kind of miss the little jibing between Cindy and Elaine. So if that
Yeah,
maybe brings that back up again,
yeah,
no bad thing. But I guess we'll see. But at the moment, I'm kind of quite enjoying them just throwing feathers at
yeah,
each other and just hating each
yeah.
other. It's quite good fun.
Mm.
Right, talking of fun, let's now talk about Jasmine. So I have to say, Ree, I think we are in the midst of a whodunit soon. I don't see how
Yeah.
Jasmine survives the year. I don't see it becomes more of a who will do it at this point, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. It feels like it feels really apparent that that's where this is heading. I mean, we
I
are
think so.
speculating, but they're not leaving any scope for us to like her, are they now?
I mean, I will say, I think she became incredibly unlikable this week, particularly. I
Yes,
think, like, yeah,
definitely.
people have always had issues with Jasmine, and I feel like,
Have they? Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, some people don't like her, but I
Yeah, I
feel
do.
like
I do.
it's this week especially, they seem to turn her into like a little mini Janine almost.
Do you know what I think it is about this week? Because up until now, I've always liked her and Oscar's dynamic, and now she's
Yeah.
messing with Oscar. And now I'm like, nah, you're messing.
Whoa there, lady.
That's the
Yeah,
line, right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you might have bludgeoned your own father on Christmas Day to death.
Fine.
Fine, I can get over that, but
Yeah,
messing with
no issues
Oscar,
there.
I think that's where she's become unlikable.
That video that she's got of her killing Anthony.
Yeah,
I mean, for a start, she just, randomly just in that when she's alone, she'll just watch that.
yeah, she just watches
Just
it.
watches that. Like some of us go on
Lol.
YouTube. Like Jasmine watches her killing someone.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Christmas 2025. What
oh,
a
what a
good day
day.
that was.
What a day. What a memory. What a time. Um, yeah, so this week, she and
Hmm.
Kat go to see Zoe in prison.
Yes.
Richie has told Zoe that her best bet at this point, Richie's failing massively, isn't she? Like,
At a minute,
in a
yeah.
minute, like, she has told Zoe that her best bet at this point, irrespective of the fact that apparently there was another wound that apparently maybe put Zoe's story into
Yeah.
question. No, all of that's been ignored.
Hmm.
Her now best bet is to plead guilty to manslaughter, and then she will get a lesser sentence. Is her best
Yeah.
option now, and Zoe is kind
Yeah.
of like, well, fair play. I'll do that then. Kat, obviously, not too pleased about that.
Hmm. I mean, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because only a couple of weeks ago, Richie was saying, "Oh well,
Mm.
Chrissy
Oh, all
Watts is
good.
the other suspect." Oh right, so
Yeah,
that's all out of the window now, just because they can't
apparently, yeah.
find her.
Yeah, Wolford Police can't be asked to try and
That's
just
true.
trace the globe to find Chrissy, for God's sake. It's just easier just
Yeah,
to send Zoe to prison. Case closed.
yeah.
Another
We've got
success for
someone here.
Wolford Police.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all
and
Wolford
still, you
Police ever
don't need
do.
any CCTV in that pub.
Never
Nah.
put CCTV in there. So yeah, Kat's not too thrilled and tells
Yeah,
Jasmine, like, you need to talk to the police about Chrissy. Like, that's the only way this is going to get solved.
yeah,
Zoe is reluctant for Jasmine to get involved. She's being
yeah.
mega mama protective mode at the moment. What
Hmm.
do you do in this situation as a mothery? Like, what
Mm.
would you do? Can you see Zoe's point of view here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Do what
you do
Zoe's
the same.
doing.
You
Yeah,
do the same, would
yep.
you?
100%. Well, it depends how scared you would be that Jasmine would go down for what she did. Because at this point, Zoe doesn't actually know that Jasmine is the person who committed the murder.
Mm.
She's just scared that Jasmine's going to get punished for all the stalkery stuff that she did to
Yeah,
Zoe.
yeah.
But then at the end of the day, could you not just like say that it wasn't her with the fire and all the rest would just be a case of whether Zoe chooses to press charges, in which
Mm.
case she'd say, I don't want to press charges.
Yeah.
And then Jasmine wouldn't get I don't know, because I don't know the legalities of it. But
I know
having said that,
it's
if I
not
thought there
drugs,
was
is
a
it, Ray? You're
risk,
clueless at this point. It's nothing to do with
oh
drugs, so you
yeah,
wouldn't know.
it's not my forte. This
It's
is not
not
my
my bag.
criminal
This,
forte.
no, it's not my alleyway. This. Uh, so yeah, and so Jasmine says to Kat, "Yeah, I'll go talk to the police. Absolutely, I'll go talk to the police." And then later, immediately says to Oscar, "Yeah, I need to leave Wolford. I'm running away.
Thailand?
I'm not saying
Anyone?
this. Thailand
Thailand?
sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Thailand. And why don't you come with me? By the way, why don't you
yeah.
and me run away to Thailand, away from
Well,
all
she
this
doesn't
Wolford
say run away
madness?"
though, does she? She's
And
just
knowing
saying, let's go traveling.
let's
Like
travel and let's go on an
yeah,
adventure. Like,
yeah,
just like
yeah,
Anna and Freddie did, let's do what they did and then we'll be
yeah.
fine. It does sort of beg the question, how did Anna and Freddie do that with money? Did they have enough money to do that? Because they've gone to Australia, which isn't cheap, but
Well, you could imagine that George had just got rid of the Vic, hadn't he? So maybe he gave
true,
Anna
maybe he gave her
some.
a bit.
And
Well,
she had a friend in Australia, Anna, so maybe they were planning to do the same, a bit of surfer hopping. They've both got bar
mm.
experience, so maybe they were just like, oh, we'll just wait till we've got a bar job. I don't know, I feel like they were a bit older, so they're a bit more clued up on what you might need to go travelling
Yeah, I
and
mean, can you imagine Oscar, bless him, in his chaotic mind that he
yeah.
is, like sort of trying to work out how to live abroad?
No, not in his current like in his current state, bless him.
No,
No.
he's only just got a
No.
tag off his foot. He's only just got
Yeah,
out of young
yeah.
offenders institution.
And
Yeah, I'll go to
Jasmine for that
Thailand now.
matter.
Yeah, the pair of them will be useless abroad.
Yeah, yeah.
But Oscar at least has the sense to say, yeah, this isn't amazingly practical at the moment. We might
Yeah.
try and need to think of other alternatives. So what Jasmine does is ring Anita up, which is her adopted mum, and tries to
Yes.
get money off her. Anita presumably says, "Lol, no."
Mm.
And Jasmine starts giving her a load of abuse down the phone, and that's when Max walks in behind her and overhears this and realizes that Jasmine has zero intention of going to the police or trying to do
Mhm.
anything to solve Zoe's situation whatsoever, and effectively the only reason for her existence is to remove Oscar from his life, really.
Yeah, at this point, that's how he deems it, isn't it? And
Yes.
he knows that she's running away from something. Do you think he's
Mm,
good? Do you think it'll be Max and Cindy who put together what it is she's trying to run away from? Because they don't actually know, do they, at this
possibly. I
point?
mean, the fact that this video that she's got on her phone is so incriminating, there has to be some element because, Lola killed him. Oh, by the way, that's what I look like. There has to be some sort
So,
of
I'm so laughing every time you talk about it because it's so ridiculous.
ridiculous video I've ever seen. Why did she turn the camera around, for God's
Why?
sake?
Why have you still got it on your phone? Delete
Innit?
it for
Any of
goodness
the above.
sakes.
Any of the
And then
above.
delete from recently deleted.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's all you need to do, and then you've made your
Yeah.
life a lot easier. But no, I need to run
Yeah.
away in case anybody sees this video on my phone that I really enjoy watching when I'm on my own
That'll
in a room
be
together.
it'll be on a cloud and someone's gonna go on a
Yeah,
laptop, Oscar or
Oscar.
maybe Cindy and Max will try and
I love it when they start
uh
getting the cloud involved in this sort of thing 'cause it's always fun.
mhm.
It's sort of like, oh, is that how that works? Right, cool.
Or maybe Tommy, she's still at the Vic. One of them's going to find
Yes.
it on the cloud, aren't they?
This
That's what it's
video
going
is
to
going to
be.
do it. This video is going to do it.
Yeah.
It has to, because it's the most ridiculous video that's ever been
It's
created. So
got
she
to.
has
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
caught by that. But yeah, Max and Cindy presumably are going to be working together,
A.
and will be involved in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Jasmine's reaction to Max walking in on her and sort of discovering that she's lying is to push him away. And then when Kat and Oscar walk in to see what all the fuss is, she tells them that Max tried to kiss her.
Oh, come on, Jasmine.
But at the same time, like, semi-believable in all honesty.
I mean, like, yeah, I know. Like, it is on brand for him, isn't
It is
it?
on brand.
I think even everyone else knows, like, yeah, we know Max, but even he wouldn't do it in broad daylight at Bonnet Stairs. Like, it is.
That's exactly where he had sex with Stacey for the first time, in all honesty.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, I guess that goes out a window. I
Actually
know, but
on the
even
stairs
everyone.
as well.
But it is funny that everybody, given Max's history, everyone instantly is like, even Kat's like, something not ringing true, except for
Yeah.
Oscar, who believes
Well,
it.
Kat doesn't trust Jasmine now. I'm getting the vibe
No.
that
Well,
she is
no, she
sort of
doesn't, does
like,
she?
there's something weird about you, love, and I'm not feeling. I mean, it's
Something
about time as she
dark.
started getting a clue as to something that her family was doing.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like, I'm starting to not believe you. She could have done this with Zoe a
Yeah.
little while ago, but never mind. Um,
Well, she rang Jean, didn't she, about it? Which
oh
I
yes, we
found
saw
odd,
Jean this
this
week.
phone call with Jean and stuff. Oh, is Jean coming back soon? Was Jean in an episode then? I'm a bit confused
She
after
was in
that
a
call.
She was in an episode. She was 100% in an episode. She's
Right,
taken her
okay.
medication
Yeah.
and she's calmed down and
Right, yes,
she's
she's
gone
had the
to yeah,
medication, which has
yeah,
balanced her back out
yes,
again. But
and
she
she's gone to
still stands
Lynn's
by the claims. She's just not being
100%. Yeah,
Detective Jean about it now.
yeah, she's not trying
Right,
to wear a
okay.
deer stalker and go around the square and
Yeah.
acting like a detective inspector. Exactly,
Right, okay.
which I think also helped convince Kat. You
Yeah.
might have a point. There may be an evil within that girl that I need to exercise.
Yes. A darkness
A
Jean keeps referring
darkness.
to, doesn't she?
There's a
Oh.
darkness in you. That's Lord Voldemort over
Well,
there.
well, her own adopted mum said it to her, said it to Cindy and Lauren, didn't she?
That's
So
true.
makes you
Yeah.
wonder what's her history as well.
I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of glad that they had this week with Jasmine to sort of push forward that there's a darkness in Jasmine, because
Yeah.
really, other than the fact that she killed Anthony, which arguably, as we said, could be self-defense in the same way that Linda killed
Yeah,
Tiago.
yeah.
We're not going around saying that Linda's got a darkness within her.
That's
The only
true. Yeah,
other
yeah.
really dark thing that Jasmine has ever done is kind of shove people a little bit. Like she goes to punch Lily and she shoves Cindy, and we're supposed to take as that she's this
She
hugely
did. She
dark
did
human
stalk
being.
Zoe and like
Oh yeah,
be a
apart
bit
from
and
all
like
that.
set her
Yeah,
on
but then
fire
she
and
was
stuff.
yeah, but then she was
But
manipulated into doing that, you could argue. She was groomed by Chrissy, you could argue.
yeah, that was the argument for it. To be fair, yeah. So where is this? But are they just trying to show this darkness is what she's inherited from Anthony that
Well,
we
this is
never
the
saw in
thing.
him until he came back? But
This is the thing. Actually, I kind of wonder whether the way that she was this week almost sort of removes the layers from it ever so slightly, because
yeah,
now it's sort of saying, well, she killed Anthony, and clearly she's quite proud of that fact because she enjoys watching this video that she's made.
yeah,
And now she's just been a super bitch to everybody. So this is it now. She's just a villain and she's a killer, and this is the shelf life she's got, and that's her done and
yeah.
dusted after that.
Because even
Now
with
she's
all
going to be
this
killed.
Anthony stuff, we're not actually seeing any remorse or really her feeling. I think we see maybe glimpses of her feeling a bit guilty that Zoe's inside for it, but ultimately, I don't think that she really does feel. I think she'd happily let Zoe take the fall for
Well,
it.
I mean, this
If
is
it
the
meant
thing.
she could go
Zoe,
to Thailand with
yeah, I
Oscar.
mean, this is the thing. Zoe takes the fall for it, and all heat's off her. You know, because it's not like the
Yeah,
police are going to do their jobs and actually go talk to anybody about what happened.
no.
So yeah, just this week she's just such a super bitch. Like, you know,
Yeah.
she's goading Cindy and saying, "Oh, I could always get in touch with the Fords. That'll be easy to
Oh,
do."
yeah,
And like
yeah. Just
whispering into
lining
Matt.
up all these murder
Yeah,
suspects or what.
yeah, exactly. And, you know, and the moment with Max where he and Cindy come up with this genius plan to have Oscar in another room on the phone, listening
Yeah.
into the conversation, when he bribes Jasmine to tell Oscar the truth about what actually happened and to confess that Max didn't try to kiss her.
Yeah.
And Jasmine cottons onto that quite quickly. Now, to be fair, I thought that it wasn't a bad plan. And I
No.
don't know whether you would spot the phone, really. I don't know if I would, possibly. Would
I
you?
don't think you would. No, I don't think you would, but I think Jasmine was so sus by the situation that she was
True.
looking for something and then saw it because it was so suspicious anyway.
Yeah.
Had she not been sus, she probably wouldn't have looked for it.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, it was quite a strange thing to do to say, I'll give you
Yeah,
£5,000 if you do tell Oscar the actual truth, as opposed, because really, you would
yeah.
just say, do you want to stop lying, bitch? Wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
exactly. But the
Really?
way that he were wording it, it were like, and he'd like poured her a whiskey and were like buttering her
Yeah.
up a bit. It's like,
Yeah.
why she will be like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So she were looking for something, weren't she?
Yeah, well, the plan doesn't work. She basically says all the wrong things for Oscar to hear, who goes
Hmm.
mad, tells Max that he wants him out of his life altogether. But poor Lauren is left to Lauren to sort of try and fix all of this and try and sellotape this family back together.
Yeah, bless her. She does though, doesn't she? She manages it. She does the false apology to Jasmine.
Yeah,
Oscar buys it. To be fair to Oscar, we're saying, oh, they'd have no chance in Thailand, they ain't got a clue. But actually, Oscar all the way through, it's like, we ain't got any money, Jasmine. Like at
yeah.
least he is aware that,
He's thinking
we can't just go
practically.
with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what makes. And then Lauren appeals to that side of
Mm,
him, doesn't she, and says,
mm.
look, why don't you just wait, get a bit of money in the bank, and then if you still want to go in a few months, then go for it. But maybe you should save some money up first.
I loved Lauren this week with the little
Yes,
row that she had with Jasmine and the Vic. I will put a
yes.
skank-shaped hole through that wall. That's a great
I
line.
like I like Lauren,
I
I
love
like
Lauren.
Lauren. I've
Lauren's
always
great.
loved Lauren, and
Yeah.
her and Oscar. I love how she is with Oscar, and how
Yes,
she
I
and
love their
like even
relationship.
standing, yeah, and standing up for him. I love how she did that to Jasmine, did the
Mm.
apology to Oscar, and then Jasmine were like, "Well, that were a fake apology,"
Yeah,
and Lauren
damn
were
right
like,
it was.
"Damn right it was." And guess what? I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah,
Lauren."
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, here's the thing though. The suspects that I mean, we are assuming this is where it's going, but I
yeah,
think this is
yeah,
what this is what this
mm,
flash forward is meant to do. We're supposed to be kind of thinking
yeah,
about theories as to where
yeah,
stories might go,
hmm
and it does feel at this moment that Jasmine is prime suspect for a who done it. Now, in terms of possible suspects that might do, I kind of struggle to believe at this point. But then, Kathy did hit Cindy over the head with a shovel, so anything's possible.
true.
Um, Cindy, Max, Kat, these are the sorts.
Hmm.
Jean when she comes back, like these are all going to be the sorts of
Yes,
people that we're going to be talking about in terms of suspects.
yeah. I th-
So
well, it's making me or is it that Jasmine is going to set Max up to make it
mm,
look like he's been soliciting
fake
a
her own
murder?
death.
Yeah, maybe it'll be actually that she tries to
That's
set him
not
up
a bad
instead.
shout. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean,
actually
some.
he is innocent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think he's innocent. I think that's easier. I think that we can maybe work that out. That whatever he's done, he's been set
What
up
if it
for.
is? What if it is, right, that Jasmine's got in touch with the Fords and
Yeah.
she's managed to convince them to kidnap Oscar and Lauren, who then
Maybe.
texts Max
But then
and
the Fords are all
actually
dead.
they're not though, are they? Are they? Well, are they?
Apparently
Yeah,
they
they are
are.
dead.
That's why
There's
Cindy
got
was
to be
able to come out.
someone.
That's how Cindy was able to come out of witness protection because the
No,
Fords are all
yeah, you're
dead.
right. They did try and say that they're all dead. Yeah, but then she's threatened her with them this week, Jasmine.
Mm.
Then it's like, well, are there some Fords out there?
I
Because
don't get me wrong. I
even,
don't believe that they are all
yeah,
dead. And it's a very easy
yeah,
storyline to give Cindy, but some psycho will come
yeah,
after her and be a Ford.
yeah.
It will turn out, but
It's like we've said, it could just be a long lost niece or something,
mm,
couldn't it? Who decides, oh,
yeah, hundred
actually, do
percent.
you know
Yeah,
that not only was it my auntie, but actually my mum, who isn't technically a Ford or something, was
mm,
also impacted by
yeah, yeah.
your snitching. Yeah,
All
could
possible.
easily
Yeah.
write it in.
Yes. So this week was interesting with Jasmine.
Mm.
I'm I'm just sort of confused as to where I'm supposed to be placing her in terms of like what sort of person she is.
Hmm.
Arguably, you could say there is a bit of Zoe in Jasmine. I don't
Yeah,
think that they're hiding that particularly because if you look back
no,
over what Zoe used to get up to, it's not a
yeah.
million miles away from this kind of stuff, really. You
No,
know,
I agree with
the
that.
whole sort of sleeping with Den and get pregnant via him to pretend to Dennis that it was his.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
this appears to be the sort of pathway that we're at with this sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're not too dissimilar.
Something else though this week that happened with Jasmine. Her and Oscar were sat in the cellar,
Mm.
and she were about to share something to do with her brother and how Anita didn't want
Yes,
to adopt her,
they got
and that her and her
separated,
brother got separated, and
so
then
she
Oscar were
knows
like,
her
"Oh, what
brother.
was that?" Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he got a phone call. So what's all that about?
When
So
did
she
that
was with her
happen?
twin.
Yeah. When
Hmm.
did that happen? So how long ago was that? That does give the impression that she knows her brother. If
Yeah.
this isn't a case of they were separated at birth and they've never met. Like
No.
they clearly knew each other. I would get from
Well,
that.
I'm wondering as well. So Anita's previously mentioned something to do with Jasmine's adopted dad and
Mm.
him having a bit of a side to him.
Dodgy background, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if they did adopt them both together and then they've split maybe and he's took the son and she's ended up with
Oh,
Jasmine, but then
maybe, yeah.
Anita's holding, some resentment towards Jasmine because Jasmine thinks that she views her as the bad twin or something,
That
maybe.
would make sense. That would
But
make
then
sense.
maybe her twin brother is actually dodgy, but that's only because he then went with
Mm.
his dad. Don't know, maybe
Oh, it
something
would
like
make
that.
sense because then that would mean that both of them arrive on the square. This
Yeah.
whole thing about Patrick saying to Oscar that he's essentially a Truman now,
Yes, yeah, it
you
might not
know,
be
gives the
Jasmine,
impression that
yeah.
it could be Jasmine or the brother, which is such a son of Max
Yes.
Branning thing to do, like we've said. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or Oscar has seen through Jasmine's stuff and he ends up, trying to help everyone,
Yeah, and it
do
just
some, towards
becomes
later in the year or
yeah, and
something.
then it just becomes Patrick being so grateful, like, oh, you're like family to
Yeah.
me now. You are like a
Yeah.
Truman to me now. Yeah, that could work as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. When
Mm.
actually he knows the truth about Jasmine as well, maybe.
Everything's up in the air at the moment.
Hmm.
I think at the moment both of us are all sort of on the vague of Jasmine's gotta die soon, surely. Like it
Yeah.
feels that way. I mean, it's also going to be interesting to sort of see how Zoe is going to sort. I mean, presumably Zoe is going to be out of
Yes.
prison at some point soon, so it's a little bit sort
Surely.
of
How though?
Danielle Ronnie coded, isn't it? Like the fact that she's going to
Yeah.
lose this long lost daughter of hers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how
Well,
is that
all
going to
right.
play out?
Let's say that we're wrong there. Obviously,
Which
I'm
never
really adamant that
happens.
we're not.
Never happens ever. But
But
just
if
to
we
play
are
devil's
wrong,
advocate.
yeah, how do they redeem Jasmine? Because after this week in
I don't think they
particular,
do. I don't think they can they? Like, people have done worse than Jasmine's done. This is fairly standard
mm,
grade one blackmail on Walford. But at the same time, given everything that's happened already, the fact that she's killed somebody, self defense or otherwise, she's clearly
yeah.
quite proud of that fact in a way. And she just wants to run away and
Do you think
away
that
from
she is
consequences.
proud of it though?
Why is she looking at the video so often? Other
Just
than to
I
just
didn't know if that was
remind
just for
us that
us. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
what
one of
I
those
was
things that just
wondering
sort of
there.
reminds us.
Yeah.
It's like when, someone's hiding something in a bag and they'll take it out, look at it, and then put it back in the bag again.
Yeah.
It's that sort
Yeah,
of thing, isn't it?
exactly. So is it that she's proud of it? But then you're right though, because at the same time, I've not seen her show any remorse. Because when she's watching the video, it's not like she's like, "Oh no, what did I do?"
Well,
Or
she did show remorse on Christmas Day when she found out on Boxing Day, I should say, when she found out who Anthony actually was.
well, that was the first time of her finding it out as well, weren't it?
Yeah.
Like
But then
officially.
that But then is that reaction more for her, as in, oh,
Yeah,
I've killed my dad, as opposed to
yeah,
I've killed my
yeah,
dad and I've missed out and I've stopped his life? I mean, guilt
yeah.
for him as opposed to just
The
feeling
actual
sorry for
killing.
herself. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, interesting. But then I do think that you could redeem her by just her being accountable for everything, and then I'm all somehow going, you know
Mm,
what, she is sorry. She didn't realise it were her dad. Like at the same time though, like we said, it was somewhat self-defense. Like Anthony
mm.
was going for her.
Yeah, it wasn't
So
cold-blooded
she
murder.
I think if she admitted, look, I made it up about Max, I was panicking, I just
Yeah,
wanted to leave the square. If she started being accountable and then it meant that they all go, right, let's come up with this plan, let's get Chrissy back, we'll all pin it on her and it'll
yeah.
work, then she could stick around,
I mean,
just to be devil's
arguably,
advocate.
yeah, 100%. But then arguably that video does actually show full well that it was self-defense as well, because we know it was
Yeah.
self-defense because of what we saw.
But it's the
So,
lying afterwards and everything
yeah.
else that's happened with it, isn't it?
But then what do you do in that situation? You're a young sort of, a young teenage, was like teenager, young woman sort of thing.
19, yeah.
Yeah, like it's sort of like, do you expect somebody of that age to do that and then go, well, sorry, I just did this. Here's proof of me doing it. Like, I feel like you would try and run away from the consequences of that.
I mean, in EastEnders you would,
I,
definitely,
th- I
but
think you would in real life, in all
do you
honesty.
reckon?
Oh, I think so.
I know, but then this is the other side to it, isn't it? Because actually, in real life, I think you'd just be so racked with guilt that you wouldn't be able to hide it, and that
Yeah,
you
I
would
mean,
be
you certainly
like,
wouldn't be able to do
"Oh my
everything
god, what
else
have I
that
done?"
yeah,
Yeah,
I certainly wouldn't be able to do everything else that Jasmine has done since
no,
then. I would have run away from Oscar as well because I'd
yeah,
be so ashamed. You know what I mean? I'd want everyone to just
yeah,
forget about me.
or or you'd at least confess to one person like Oscar, maybe on the flip side of it. Because
Yeah.
she's already confessed stuff to him. She's confessed that she pushed Cindy down the stairs to
Mm,
him
mm.
already. He knows about that. Obviously, she said it were an accident because it was in a
It was an
way.
accident. Cindy was charging
Yeah.
towards her, and she was literally like, "Can you get
She's
away from me?"
impulsive, isn't she?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, she is in villain mode. I think this is a villain
Yeah.
that we've
At the
got now
minute.
in Jasmine,
Yeah.
100%. So
Yeah.
it just sort of depends where they take her from here.
Yeah.
But at the moment, she's sort of trying to wreck. She's actively now trying to wreck
Mm.
the Brannings up. Like
Yeah.
she's trying,
Yeah.
she's enjoying and was enjoying the chaos that she was causing with Max and
Yeah.
Oscar this week,
Yes.
enjoying
Yeah.
threatening Cindy. So there is that
Yeah.
element to her.
Yeah. True.
So
Do you know, sorry, another that just reminded me of when Oscar was stood on the stall and Max and Jasmine were arguing and he was like, oh no, you're arguing over me. I was just like,
oh,
oh, so
stop,
Oscar, oh
stop.
please.
I love him so much. And
I love Oscar, he's
the other Oscar
great.
thing I loved this week was he's so tall that he can walk into the cafe and just loop his leg over one of the chairs. Like he's so tall.
He is tall in there,
So
yeah.
tall. He's so long. Um, Max and Cindy working together. This is going in the right direction, isn't it? Yeah, I think.
Or is it going to be that Cindy's the one who gets him done for the solicitation for murder and she's going to end up
I don't know.
ultimately
I
turning
mean,
against them both?
maybe, but at the minute it's all looking a bit delicious. I have to
Yes,
say.
it is. They're going to have an affair. She's going to be the one.
Yeah,
Well, no, she can't be the
it's
one
not
in
an
the bed
affair.
with the baby, though.
It's not an affair. They're both single.
I know, but then who's he marrying?
Mm.
Do you reckon it's going to be Cindy? Do you think he's just going to?
No, I don't know. I don't think.
Nah.
I don't think that their relationship would. I don't think that Cindy would allow herself to
Yes, have
marry
a proper
him.
relation.
It would
Yes,
all
I agree.
be lust and carnal and like
And
forbidden sort of like yeah.
and
No, I
publicly still being like, can't stand
100%,
you.
yeah. And
Yeah,
actually to him saying I can't stand you, apart from when we
yeah,
are in bed. Like and then
yeah,
it's the best
yeah.
sex that she has ever had in her entire life because it's
Because it's
just so
so
hate
forbidden.
filled. It's so forbidden
Yeah,
and angry and hate filled
yeah,
and you killed my
yeah,
children. And you also had an affair with my daughter as well, but never mind. Let's keep
yeah.
going.
Oh
It's
well.
messed up. And that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
messed up and that's
Love
why
it.
it's delicious. Yeah. See.
Yes, I agree.
Gold star this week, Ray.
Lauren, actually.
I
After what
was
you said
thinking
earlier, I
Lauren, to
love
be
how
fair.
she's so defensive over
Mm,
Oscar and she's the one
yeah.
who's managed to keep him. And I like Lauren, so I'm giving it Lauren.
It's between. I feel like Nugget will earn one a bit later on with this storyline. I feel like it.
Yes.
No, yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm Oscar for me this week. Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. Lauren and Oscar for the gold stars this week. Let us know who your gold stars are going to. And as usual, folks, we shall finish with some comments from you.
So we've got a comment here from Chris Shaw who says, Cindy and Max as a duo working together to take evil Jasmine down is something I didn't know I needed in my life, but I am here for. Jasmine has fewer redeeming qualities by the day. Can't see her sticking around long term.
Yeah, I mean, again, with this week, it's been tricky to sort of see how she comes back from this as a character,
Yeah.
in all honesty. Like, she's
Yeah.
just in super bitch mode. And, like, it's the fact
Yeah.
that she is enjoying what she's doing, I think, makes her
That's it, because
redeemable.
like I said before with the accountability, I don't even know if I'd believe that she would really being accountable or that
Mm,
she would just manipulating the situation to make it look like she's sorry when she's actually not,
yeah,
because she does seem to enjoy it.
she doesn't seem that sorry for any of it. I think the only
No.
really sort of, like, accountability she might have is with Patrick. Because I think she
Yeah,
does feel guilty.
Sinulande.
Yeah, I think she does feel guilty about Patrick, which I think is why she has been trying to avoid the pair of them so much, and she's
Yes,
just
that
putting
would
all
make
her
sense.
attention into Oscar, which I think Oscar is the linchpin for her because if she manages to pull Oscar away from his family, then that means that she's at least got one sort of solid rock of support as she goes
Yeah.
off away somewhere, and then she can sort of try and move on with her own life. It's all selfish. Like, there's
Yeah, yeah,
no
yeah.
redeeming qualities about that whatsoever, but I
Yeah.
think that's what her plan is ultimately.
Yeah.
Virginia Williamson says, I wonder if Jasmine's adoptive father shaped Jasmine to be who she is, despite the good genes from Patrick and Kat. This looks like nature versus nurture. Do genetics shape a person or the environment?
Ooh, I love a nature versus nature argument, I must
What do you
say.
reckon?
Well, this is it because we don't know her father and we don't know the circumstances. So we might actually go, oh, this darkness that we see in Jasmine isn't actually to do with anything that she's inherited supposedly from Anthony. And like they've just said, Virginia's just said, oh, is it actually, yeah, she's learned it from her environment growing up with a
Mm,
dad who's maybe got this dark side to him. But we need to know a bit more about Anita and her adopted
Yeah.
father, I think. And I think it'll also answer the stuff about the twin brother.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily believe, like, especially if this is somebody, if the parent, the bad parent, is somebody that you've
Yeah.
never ever met in your entire life. I don't know if somebody who is a really bad person who
Mm,
then, has a child who they never meet,
yeah.
then that child will turn out bad. I don't think I believe that.
But you could argue that then some of no, not the nature, the nurture side brings that out in them, I guess, because like
Yeah,
sometimes there's
I think
something called
it's
epigenetics, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you will turn out like that, but there could be a trigger in your environment that then switches
okay.
that
A light
gene on.
switch that sort of turns you on
Yeah.
and puts you into the bad parent
Yeah.
sort of path.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it could even end up being a bit of both, really, that actually, because of what she did witness, it's turned that little gene on inside her, maybe.
Oh, maybe, maybe.
Michael Robbins says, Jean hit the nail on the head. Jasmine is a demonic heathen. Just because a person is bipolar doesn't make them wrong.
That was the interesting thing with Jean. It's sort of like,
Yes.
if anything, the way that Jean was going on almost kind of confirmed Jasmine as bad before we even had anything sort of really confirmed to us, didn't it? Really?
Yeah. And it's like Jean said in the call to Kat, uh, because she was in a bit of an episode, it meant that
Mm.
people weren't listening to the actual truth that she was
Yeah,
saying because it was all covered by that. But
yeah.
actually, she still stands by it. That part wasn't any kind of like psychosis, let's say. Obviously, she was watching the videos online and things
Mm.
like that. But that was just kind of confirming to her what she knew the truth to be anyway,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah. The
it?
videos were kind of
Yeah.
pushing her into some sort of occult view of Jasmine, but
Yes.
ultimately,
Yeah.
the ground view of it, that Jasmine is a bad person, is
Mhm.
what kind of triggered it all in the first place. So yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be interesting to sort of see what happens when Jean comes back, because I feel like the
Mhm.
conversation with Jean kind of put Kat on the path of, I don't think you'll want to be trusted. So
And also, Jean said if I were to do things differently,
keep her
I would make her
close.
think that that I really trust her, but then
Yeah,
I'd kind of turn on her.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's what Kat's going to start doing now, definitely.
100%. Andrew Dawson says about the episodes with Nugget, was reminded of Julie in the Vic in the episode with Ravi, Priya, Suki, and Eve stood around talking about how Nugget and Avani must be feeling with their respective trauma right now. Stop talking about your kids and start talking to them.
I mean, very valid, isn't
Very
it?
valid. Yeah, this is interesting as well, because what we didn't say with the trial next week is that this
Mhm.
also involves Avani.
Yes.
So that's gonna it's gonna. I wonder if it's gonna be a case of, whole with Nugget thing. Like, a lot of attention is gonna be on Avani next week. So are Priya and Ravi gonna take their eye off the ball slightly with Nugget, and
Possibly, and then
something bad
his
will
panic
happen there?
attacks might keep
Yeah.
happening in the background, kind of thing.
Mm,
And yeah,
yeah.
like you say, because they're focusing their attention on Avani, they
Mm.
need to kind. Oh gosh, they've got a lot going on with the kids, haven't they? Bless them,
Busy
and bless the
parents.
kids.
Bless the kids.
Very.
Busy parents.
And finally, we have a comment here from YouTube regarding last week. Say it from Robin Byrne, who says, I think we'll find out that B is a compulsive liar. That whole story about colour theory in South Korea was totally just made up on the spot. I would love to see it because I don't think we've ever had a compulsive liar on the square.
I mean, I think we've had a few. I think we've had a
And
few
yeah,
compulsive liars. To be fair, Max being one of them. But yeah,
well, I
in
think
terms
I know
of
what they're saying there,
yeah,
where it's
in
just
terms of
like everything on the
pathological.
spot.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Which is an interesting take because I'd not even considered that because obviously we
No.
mentioned a colour theory comment last
Yeah, and
week.
you heard that and you were off. And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
colour
well, oh
theory. Oh, I
yeah,
love
colour
all that. Oh
theory.
god, yeah. No, everyone's just looking down on B. No, colour theory. She's my girl. She is. She's on my path. That's my type of human.
Well, maybe not though. If it's all a load of rubbish and that actually should not be in because I did say like,
You
how was
did.
she
You
in
did.
South
How is she affording
Korea?
South Korea? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if
Well,
actually it's that she's a compulsive liar, it would kind of make sense.
This is the thing. I can believe that she got to South Korea, but it's how she got to South Korea, which I think is the thing.
True.
I think that she could quite easily have like just taken advantage of somebody to get the money to
Hmm.
go to South Korea,
Yeah,
just
blagged her
palmed
way
off
through it,
somebody. Yeah,
or
yeah,
made
just
people feel sorry for her. That said, like
yeah,
she's doing that
yeah,
with
yeah.
Linda quite a bit.
I think she's a bunny boiler. I really, really do.
Well, which could feed into the compulsive liar theory as well, in
Yeah.
fairness, that actually a lot of what she says isn't even true.
Well, I wonder if we got a little hint of stuff this week. B wasn't in it a huge amount this week. The only time we really saw her was in the minute
Yeah.
mark with Honey and Nicola. And there
Yes.
was a bit where I think she's going to start getting jealous of Honey and Nicola's relationship.
Yes, I did think that. Or just Honey doing anything with anybody else
Yeah,
because she seems to have clung on to Honey,
yeah, big
which
time.
makes sense because those two would
Quite
probably be
similar.
friends. Yeah. But then even Honey seems like she's trying to back off a
Mm.
little bit. I do
Even
think
Honey's
some of
like,
it was
what weird human being you are.
meet up again.
Nothing
And
like
then
each
obviously
other.
Honey says, "Oh, I'm really busy." And then Nicola comes in and says, "Oh, are we on for our drinks later?" And
Mm.
B looks, doesn't she, like, "Oh, she's just said she's too busy." And then
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
the fact that Honey feels like she has to justify herself and be like, "Oh, I made these plans weeks ago."
Mm.
Like, yeah, I think she's one to watch out for at the minute,
I
B, isn't
think
she?
B will have a sting in her tail. Let me tell you that for
Honey
free.
to the bee.
Honey to the bee. That's it for this week's, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and wherever you find your podcasts. Drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Yes, you can indeed. Next week, the trial of Joel.
Ooh.
Possibly the last time we're ever going to see Joel, I think, maybe.
Ah. I mean, I'm
Oh,
saying,
what a
oh,
shame.
like,
Oh, I'm going to miss
yeah, but
that
it
little
was a good,
incel.
yeah, but Max Murray though
He
was
is.
particularly phenomenal. So
He was brilliant. Have you seen his recent Instagram pictures? He's had a haircut. He's got rid of the
yeah,
curtains. He
I
is no
don't
longer
blame
Joel.
him.
Yeah,
No
I think you
incel
would, wouldn't you?
curtains
Yeah,
anymore,
no
bless
incel
him.
curtains.
I bet he associates it with it as well, don't
Probably,
they?
probably
Yeah.
anyone with the boy band curtains are an incel now. I think that's what Joel's taught
Those
us.
incels have ruined them for us, haven't they?
Ruined curtains for every one of the incels. So look forward to that next week. How will Mark Jr. be involved in that storyline, if at all? We shall find out. Until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.